Two shopping carts are about to crash.
Okay.
You see it, they see it, and what happens? Both people slow down, hesitate, and do that awkward like half stop, half go, then apologize like they committed a crime. And for what? Like nothing ever happened. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Happens in cars too, like the fucking stop go shit.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized this concept isn't about grocery stores. It's how people move through life. We hesitate, we overthink, we try to be careful, and it actually makes everything worse. So I started doing the opposite. And not in like a reckless way, but just to commit and to push the gas pedal a little bit. And everything has been going smoother.
All right.
So now I'm asking, what if hesitation is the real problem? Not bad decisions, not risk, but hesitation. So like the core concept that comes out of this is hesitation kills momentum. Overthinking creates worse outcomes than action. Most people default to caution, which makes life awkward, slow, and small. Speed, measured, not reckless, creates clarity faster. So I'm not saying go 100 miles an hour into a wall. I'm saying most people are sitting at a green light. Speed works because you trust yourself and then handle consequences. You tracking?
Yep.
Are you in on this?
Well, people are sitting at green lights because they're on their cell phones, I'd say, but
well,
continue.
they're still fucking sitting there. People hide behind caution because they don't trust themselves to deal with what happens next. So I've been testing this in everything, in probably in the last 2 or 3 months. Instead of a moment that I instinctually want to hesitate, I just push the gas a little bit.
So you're saying that your test is not to hesitate,
right?
Your test is to just be spontaneous?
No. It is, let's say you have like a situation that you can blatantly see approaching that could have a positive or a negative outcome. And I'm trying to think of something specific within like business, but like, let's say you have to make a choice writing a policy, and instead of sitting back and overthinking it and processing it, you just push forward and then deal with the options and or repercussions that are thrown faster.
So I think, I'd have to say that my default is always to apply my mind to it. My default is not to go head first.
Okay.
As I think the way you are phrasing it is that you are choosing to, in most instances that you've been kind of reflecting on, is to go head first.
Yeah.
Right. I'm somebody, and I'd be interested to hear what Nick thinks about it. But mine is to be more considered in my approach in almost everything I do.
That's interesting. The first question that I had for you preemptively was, is caution actually kindness or fear disguised as politeness?
Yeah. So my question would be that, say, for example, you mentioned the two shopping carts, and even in a collision, my immediate response would always be, how would I, what would be the kind of the approach that the other person would be feeling? So it'll almost be, how's the other person feeling? And so my approach would always be trying to be considered. I don't want to be an ass. Sometimes I come across as being one, but that's because the other person is being an asshole, and so I'm going to respond in a way. But I'd say that in almost all instances, I try to be considered. I try not for the other person not to trigger me. and to try and let the situation, whatever situation it is, two shopping carts coming together, and we're often in that. I'm in Trader Joe's trying to find a parking. Somebody's, goes straight in.
Yeah,
I'm just
fucking
going to
story
ignore
about
it.
that later.
I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to find another parking. I'm not going to let that person kind of live in my mind for the rest of the day.
I'm right there with you, PR.
So I would say
Really?
considered in almost everything I do.
You got to be. I mean, the reason people apologize is not because they're sorry that they almost hit you. They're apologizing for a reason. That's the social lubricant that gets everything to keep going. If you just run everybody over with your fucking shopping cart, I mean, you're in a very privileged position if you're the guy who doesn't stop and you don't have to. Like you, Trevor, wealthy, healthy, got your shit together. You're in your prime physically. Like, that's a privileged situation that is the reason why I also feel that I'm in a privileged situation. So if I'm fucking about to hit somebody with my shopping cart, I'm immediately like, hey man, I'm sorry. Like, let's maneuver this situation and go on about our lives. That's my first thought when you're talking about that. I don't know that that's hesitation necessarily, and I'm right with PR as well on a lot of things in the legal field in my career. You can't, even though a decision has to be made, you can't do it. Like, you have to wait. You have to see how things go, and you have to be strategic and plan, and the chess pieces on the board have to move before you do what ultimately you need to do.
I'm wondering if...
Now, putting stuff off, I agree. Like, if you've got something that you have to do, there is no excuse, there is no time, like the present, and you're like, yeah, then I agree with you. That's the type of shit that it is always better to just take it head on.
Well, so I'm wondering then more specifically, is hesitation protecting you or just delaying problems?
Well, if we hesitate any more of these shots, I'd say that we've got a problem. So cheers to you.
Cheersies.
Cheers, everyone.
That's medicine. So continue.
Yeah, is hesitation protecting you or delaying problems?
I don't think there's going to be... So what I think, really, when you're looking at the problem that you're outlining and the way you're looking for a better way forward, you're always looking to grow. I think
Me specifically, or
you.
People like the royal...
You would hope that everybody is, but not everybody is. You, though, I do believe you have a conscious effort to grow and move yourself forward.
Thank
always.
you. I hope that...
I do too, and I know PR does. So I think everybody here has that kind of thing to self-reflect and try to grow. I mean, that's why we do this, right? So I think that you have to get your own level of where is the hesitation that protects you and when do you start acting. And for some people, it's going to be fucking fast. Like I was saying about privilege, there's old ladies that use that as a privilege because they can just run you down with your shopping cart because they're an old fucking lady, right? That gives them the ability to not have to hesitate and navigate these social scenarios. So they have a much lower bar that works for them. For somebody like me, it's got to be much higher. I need to hesitate. I need to plan it out. I need to think about it a lot before I make action. From time to time, do I miss out on an opportunity here and there? Probably. But I think it's a better strategy for me long term. I think overall I gain more than I lose. Okay. So I mean that was my first thought with what you're saying is that everybody's threshold for that is going to be different. And I think that, it sounds like you're having some success with a lower threshold where you go, yeah, I don't need to hesitate. I can be bold and I can make my decisions and I can move forward and it's serving me well. To me, in my profession, I have to take my time. I have to see everything. It has to be slow. I've especially with criminal law cases, they call me almost every day when they first hire me. They're like, get the motion in, get in front of the state. I'm like, stop. No, that's not how this shit works. What we need to do is we need to not be their pain in the ass. We need to fucking hesitate. We need to wait, let it play out. Because shit resolves itself in my fucking line of work sometimes. Like, the cops move away and they can't prove their case. The last thing I want is for a state attorney to put a fucking red dot. Well, I used to put red dots on a file if somebody pissed me off. That means I'm like focused on this fucking case, or if somebody was a repeat customer, you know what I'm saying? Or if it was a sensitive victim, I'd put dots on the cases so I knew which ones to really focus on. And I'm like, That's not what we need to do. We do not want to be a red dot case. We want to be just one of the 600 on their docket. Let me do my thing when I get in there naturally and, work it out for you. So I guess the first thing I'm thinking is there's definitely credence to what you're saying. And I think that a lot of people can grow with lowering their threshold of hesitation. But at the same time, I think everybody's going to be different, and your own personal cadence and style are going to dictate that.
Yeah.
I just want to get clarity though, because hesitation in my mind, it has a negative connotation.
Sure.
Okay. I'd be interested to hear Nick's view on the word hesitation, but to me, it's saying that, you want to do something, but you're nervous, because that's the way I'm seeing the word hesitation. It has a negative connotation in my mind, right? And maybe I haven't gone and checked the definition of it or anything, but to me, it's saying, okay, I want to do something, but I'm hesitating. It's kind of like stop, start is for me is the way I'm interpreting the word hesitation. I think the way I'm responding to it, though, is that my approach is to be more considered in whatever I do.
Well, so I think that immediately speaks to who you are, PR specifically. I don't think the word, if you look it up in a dictionary, hesitation would have a negative connotation. It's probably wait to act would be my guess as to definition of hesitation. But because of who you are and your, very rosy self-help outlook on life, you're going to immediately create that idea. An example that I deal with every day is when you're talking to a jury, you're talking to them about bias. The word bias to you probably immediately screams that it's a negative. If I say you're biased, that means you're a negative connotation. But you can be biased.
Means you're erring in favor of something
Correct.
else.
But to say you're biased, people take that as an affront. People take that as I'm offending them. When really, I have a bias towards cheese pizza over pepperoni. It's not offensive to me to tell me that I'm biased in the pizza that I like.
Correct.
But you're creating a negative connotation for the word hesitation. I don't get that.
So here's the thing: when I think about hesitation, I think that if you're at a traffic light and you need to make a decision, go turn left or hold back, you kind of half in, half out. You're kind of not sure whether you should do it or not. That to me is the word hesitation. The way I'm seeing it though, because I certainly am somebody who doesn't procrastinate, right? So I'm using that kind of. So if, for example, I have something on my mind.
Now, procrastination is what I think you are defining hesitation in your mind.
I'm seeing that.
That I agree with.
Yeah.
Now, and that's what I said when I started, that I was like, procrastination more is a word to me that says that I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know it's time to do it, and I'm just not acting for whatever outside influence is happening to me. Like if I'm lazy that day, tired, thinking my mind's wandering, whatever it is that I'm procrastinating. Procrastination is a term that's loaded.
Yes, it's lazy.
I agree with
that. It can appear.
It can be. It can be fear.
Yeah.
Like Trevor was alluding to.
Yeah.
Procrastination can come from fear. If you know that you're supposed to take some big step and it's a big step, you could be waiting to do it because you know there's no turning back.
Yeah. So one of the things that I would hope to think that I am not is somebody who does not procrastinate. That I think is very core to. So to me, I kind of try and process decisions. I don't rush a decision, but once I'm ready to execute it, then I go ahead and do the execution. So I'd like to think that I don't procrastinate, particularly around people that I care for, people that are near and dear to me. I want them to know about, how I feel about them. And I would like everyone in my circle to know exactly where they stand with me and where I stand with them. So that is for me the whole idea of no procrastination. But the hesitation thing, and Nick is probably 100% that I'm seeing the hesitation as a negative.
Fellas, you guys have agreed more with each other in the last 10 minutes than ever before.
I disagree with that too. I think we're saying different things. I do think I on certain levels, I think and I mean, I disagree with it. Like for him to say he's not a procrastinator, maybe like I know I'm not a procrastinator, professional procrastinator, but I'm probably an amateur procrastinator. I take my time to do stuff sometimes if I know it's a big step. So, it may sound like that. I do think there's nuance to the ways that we're talking, and I think that your level, what you're explaining of being bold and not hesitating and just shooting your shot, doing your thing, throw in any other fucking any other anecdotes we can say right now, any other little catchphrases, but I think that we would be on a spectrum. I think that Trevor probably more bold, acts more on instinct. I think I'm way on the other side of I take my time and fucking really wait and watch and figure it out. And I think PR is probably a healthy in the middle.
Yeah, also the thing is, and I'd agree with that, Nick. I think you are very considerate. But I think that's one of the benefit of evolution. I have to say, and I haven't read or any of that, right? But I have to say that part of the species that we belong to is the fact that we have the ability to not just have this animal instinct and to respond to issues and things we see as we want to. We have the ability to, because of the fact that we've evolved the way we have, to not necessarily always use the animal instinct.
To Trevor's credit, what he's talking about, though, I do think a lot of the human experience is fighting against, and I've talked about it a million times. You guys used to make fun of me how much I said it, but I think the human condition is constantly fighting against cognitive biases. Like, you have a cognitive bias for a reason that got us through evolution. Specifically, is the rustling bush.
It's pattern recognition.
Yeah. Is it a fucking leopard? Well, think about this. So, is it a leopard or is it a bird? A leopard could fucking kill you. Bird's just could be food. And you see the rustling on the bush. We learn to err on the side of avoiding it because the stakes are so high. If it is that one time out of 100 that it's a leopard, that creates a cognitive bias that now we live with, where we're second guessing ourselves and we're hesitating. And I think there is a real value, like you said, Trevor, to being able to make that decision and push and do it when it's ready to be done.
So can moving faster create confidence and motivation for other people?
Yes. I mean, when you do it, there's a lot of times, especially in jury consultation, where I'm working with attorneys that hire me that have done it, 20 years longer than I have. But even sometimes when I'm still debating what my decision should be, I do boldly, this is what we're doing. Just, this is it. Because if you waver in that sort of scenario, you create doubt, which then creates
hesitation,
lack
creates
of
chaos.
Oh,
I think.
Okay. How so?
This concept goes extremely deep for me. I'm recently exploring, I guess, leadership attributes and qualities to up my game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to risk sounding like a fucking douchebag by revealing my explorations.
Okay.
I do think that there is, like a hierarchy, mm-hmm. especially within a male group, and or the hierarchy can adjust and change based on a scenario. And in any given moment, somebody makes a call quickly and everybody aligns. I think the magic of our group is we're pretty equal. And like, if you want to go to Fiddlers, you say, we're going to Fiddlers. And it's like, all right, that, like, you made that call. You were in the upper echelon of the hierarchy.
I think that's true leadership, though, in a group.
Most circumstances, at least with what I'm experiencing, like a grocery store example, nobody's comfortable enough to make that call because it's a stranger, or they don't want to be perceived a specific way. They're being polite or kind. Mm-hmm. They want to be perceived as polite or kind, when somebody just needs to make the fucking call, move the cart, carry on your way, get your fucking groceries, get home, because you have more important shit to do than dick around at a traffic jam at the end of a.
And I'm trying to extrapolate that opinion or that example, because to me, the number one thing you're talking about, which is a sign of leadership, is situational fucking awareness. And if I'm walking around the grocery store, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm fucking watching what everybody else is doing, which makes me, ipso facto more of a leader than any fucking drone walking around in there.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually watching and paying attention. But when you're talking about the leadership dynamic in any group, especially with other leaders, I think true leadership is in a part, even like a partnership with a husband and a wife, or partners, I guess. You have the one party's going to lead at certain circumstances. If it means more to them, the other one's it's going to mean more to them, so they're going to lead, and it's your job as
Correct.
a back-to-back to figure out which one is which
Correct.
at which point in time. So, yeah, I see the merit of that.
Let's see.
I mean, I could tell you, drinking alcohol makes you feel less hungover. We could talk about that because I feel less hungover right now than I have all fucking day just from that one shot. It's like medicine.
Did you drink last night?
Yeah.
Are there going to be some tasty nuggies?
Oh, yeah, I got nuggets for fucking days, bro. I got all kinds of shit to talk about.
All right. Like, I guess I just want to throw in how I feel that I've come like to this point and like how I'm moving forward. And then I have one last question. So I think hesitation is the problem, not risk. Most people aren't cautious. They're scared. And speed reveals truth faster. And you don't trust the outcome because you don't trust yourself. And I think it's a extremely multi-layered psychological exploration.
I mean, I do. So I can agree with some of those. So some of the more deeper things that you're saying, I don't think apply to most people because I think most people are just fucking vanilla sandwiches. I don't think they put a deep thought into their day. I think most people are going to work, filling out their TPS reports, going home to their screaming kids, going to bed as soon as they can, and just waiting for the sweet relief of death as they trudge upon their fucking lives. So when you say things like speed reveals truth, I think people just fucking are living their life. Now, out of those that you said, though, I do agree with, I do think fear is the number one instigator of people's behavior. 100, like across the board. Anything they do, I think it somehow comes back to fear.
Okay.
I think people's political beliefs come from fear. I think the way they treat their partners come from fear. I think the way they handle their finances and pick vacations and buy cars. I think fear is you could almost explain any emotion to me as on some sort of spectrum of fear that they're either trying to avoid or trying to overcome.
I've reframed the multiple experiences, and I think that I'm doing a pretty decent job at removing fear, pushing on the gas, and then, I would say, like when we very first started podcasting, that I would present things to you in a magical, mystical way, but deep down I know that there's like science behind what I try to present.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to pose that it is this mystical, magical deal, but with some explanation that I don't want to fucking go into right now.
Yeah. I'll take your word for it.
So if I remove fear, push on the gas, I will then experience life to the fullest, which is pain, suffering, misery, also joy, happiness, love. And you're cutting the experience short if you hesitate and overthink it. You're missing out on an experience. And I think experience is non-polarized. It's just an experience is an experience.
Fair.
And people make it good or bad.
Fair.
Then as I push the gas, and let's say somebody, an onlooker would perceive my outcome as not favorable because of the mentality going into this experience. I have already reframed just as an experience I'm collecting, and it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. I know that I'm never going to fucking do that again.
Yeah.
Faster.
Yeah.
Super fast, rather than wondering what if.
Well, yeah, I mean, fear, you can't, I mean, I'm not advocating that you eliminate all fear, because fear is
Well, it keeps you alive.
evolutionary response that we have. Now, I think I've read somewhere where they say an acute feeling of fear for a direct antagonist is fear. Prolonged chronic fear is actually anxiety. It's not fear. And that will fucking kill you. And everybody has it. And there are entire careers based on trying to get people through anxiety. But I do think fear has its place. I do think the same way, I wouldn't want to get rid of hunger because I enjoy eating because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I enjoy a fear being built in for something and overcoming whatever it was, and that feeling of accomplishment is something great. So, I wouldn't want to eliminate fear. But otherwise, I mean, I'm on board with what you're talking about.
Well, I agree with what you've just said, but I guess where I think I feel like I've achieved some headway lately is removing fear from the decision making with odd, like, faith, hope, and trust, like blind fucking faith, saying I'm going to make this decision without overthinking it because I'm trusting my intuition. My intuition, scientific, it's not this magical, mystical thing. I'm letting the data center that is my body, that has collected experience over the years, make a decision without overthinking it for me. And, at this point, I haven't gotten bit yet. Like, every time I push the pedal, everything fucking magically works out.
And and if that is what you keep trying it and it's tried and true, you're probably, like I said, the way that I'm the opposite, where I'm sure I've missed out on a couple opportunities here and there by being more reflective. You're probably going to miss out on some opportunities you never even know about by putting the pedal to the metal. But if at the end of the day it outweighs it, then you're doing the right thing for you.
I've heard a guy tell me specifically that I'm blasting around at 100 miles an hour when the rest of the world is at 40 or 50, and I'm missing opportunities because I'm moving so fast. I do agree with him to a certain extent. But I do think that there is a flow state of speed that this example or this scenario is pushing the gas just a little bit faster. It's not blasting like I used to and completely missing everything, but there's an accurate speed in life. And a lot of people, including those miserable motherfuckers at the grocery store that waste time apologizing and be like, and doing that shit, aren't at the appropriate speed.
Yeah. PR.
I think that there's a speed, and that Trevor's mentioned. For me, it's about, are you going at such a high speed that you forget to smell the roses? That's the only thing that I'd like to kind of throw into it. So I'd like to think that I am moving my life and decisions that I make, and around the complexity of having a family and friends, and there's a number of moving parts, right?
Yeah.
So I can't just move at my own speed, because then I'll be an asshole. Right? So I have to be respectful.
I mean, that's really what I was getting at with.
Yeah.
I think so. Trevor used that as an example, and I think it's a great thought experiment. I don't think it's great as a real life example, because you don't know who the fuck this person is. What if this person, what if you were an asshole and you just fucking plow them down with your shopping cart, and the next day they come in to buy insurance, they go, fuck you, you asshole. Or what if I do it and it's the state attorney I have to convince to give me a good offer? You have to use the social lubricants.
Yeah, you got to
I
be
think really
flexible.
it's being awake
Yeah,
and
so if-
understanding your speed and understanding who you are is the most important part.
Yeah. So an example for is that today we were not doing a podcast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One of us has a different agenda for next week and suggested, "Hey, listen, can we do a podcast today?" Now, if I was being an ass, right? I had different plans for today. I'd say, "Fuck it, I'm not going to make a plan. I'm moving at 100 miles an hour, right? Which is a different plan." However, you being considered, and that's what I'm trying to do. It's like, hey, listen, he's got.
Thank you for being so considerate.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for allowing me to run.
But it's
my
also
marathon
Thanks for-
that
no, it's
I
because
paid for a year ago.
that's how.
I guess we ruined your.
Yeah,
your
sorry,
plans.
bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, my long-term plans affect
you
your
go.
fucking day.
Don't be fearful.
Fucking dork.
So what I'm saying is that it was because you're using the word hesitation and fearful and all that. I'm saying it's not about being fearful. That did not feature in me saying, okay, I can make it work,
Mm-hmm.
right? And because it helps all of us to be considered in my approach.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the way I'm kind of viewing it. That you want to be going through life at a certain speed, but making sure that you're going fast enough not to fall off the bicycle, or in Nick's mind, not to finish the marathon when the marathon actually closes. So you want to be running at the right speed, but at the same
it's a
time,
marathon, not a sprint. That's
don't
what
miss
fucking
the
nerds say.
roses. Don't miss all the beauties in life, right? So, for example, sometimes, we host these events. All of us sitting around this table, we host these events.
What?
And sometimes we meet somebody who our initial reaction is that this person is a bit of an ass, right? I want to walk away. And
Are you looking at me?
right? And I would say that there are people around here that are faster at leaving that space.
I think he's using it. I
Right?
think he's talking about me with a recent example.
No, a recent example, exactly. But
relatively
recent. You are one of those. You're probably your bullshit detector goes off faster than most of us. But I would think that, to me, I would continue to experiment with that new relationship a little bit longer
You do love
before
to
I walk
experiment.
away
That's
from
true.
it, right? And I've found that sometimes listening to people is probably, and before I make a judgment call,
Mm-hmm.
right, is probably a good thing, because I've built relationships on that based on the fact that I've given them that space to go ahead. And so I would think that I'm not in agreement with Trevor's hypothesis that going at a certain speed is always going to result in just good. I think that we are sophisticated enough, or we are evolved enough to work out when is the right speed to go at
That's what
70 miles an hour, and when it's right to
I
go at
completely
45.
agree
I
with
think
that.
that's what he's saying.
You got to know when to, through intuition instead of overthinking, you got to know when and be in this natural flow that is because your body has collected experience and it knows.
And my argument is that everybody's on some different level of that. But really the difference between being a leader, being somebody who is a mover and a shaker and not, is trying to understand yourself and your level so that you are constantly growing and making better decisions.
I think with you mentioning that, like, everybody's virtually at a different speed, a leader can match speed.
True.
And then create positive, what's the word? Like, can change another person's speed.
Mm-hmm.
in a minor way to start to speed up or slow down. If somebody comes in blasting, you can understand that you need to
Well, the
talk
leader,
a little slower.
The
and
leader tries to
calm.
bring you onto this. The leader is trying to build a posse. It's trying to. You're only a leader if you have followers, right? And so the idea of if you want to be that leader in a particular situation, is you want to make sure you bring the rest with you.
I don't agree.
I don't agree with the followers. I
don't agree with that at all.
I agree. I would say that I am attempting to create equals, and empower.
And I was just going to say, you can act like a leader of people without people following you.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that in a particular situation. So they're not followers in the sense that they are
Yeah, but
subservient.
you said your little fucking self-help
No,
sentence there,
no, no,
your
no.
motto.
I'm saying
you said
that
a leader
by
is not a leader
definition,
without followers.
by definition,
but that's what
a
we're
leader is somebody that has followers. All I'm saying is that in every situation. But what I'm not saying is that the followers are subservient. I'd say that's a very old style leadership, right? Where you talk down to people.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that you could be a leader in a situation, but be very respectful of all those people as equals. So that would be my kind of leadership, or, I'd say that more a modern style of leadership, right? But, if you're in a situation where, where you've made a decision, you're going to go this way, and nobody wants to go that way, right? And you insist on people going that way because you're the boss, then there's a kind of style. It's kind of more authoritarian. You will do it my way or else, right? That's and that may be, what you're suggesting.
I've made those decisions and been fairly uncomfortable and anxious, but then have come back to research it, and all successful leaders make intuitive decisions without advice, and it does end up benefiting the group.
You mean without advice? You mean without support of the?
Yeah, without
support.
going and saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
what do you think? Should I do this or should I not do this?" They make the decision because they feel so adamant about doing it for the benefit of the group, and it works out. The other people just don't.
Sometimes you got to make the call.
The other people don't understand that it'll get a group business.
You got to pay the cost to be the boss, man.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you got to fucking throw it down. Sometimes you got to pick, and you got to. I mean, in my opinion, good leadership is that when you do it, I don't look at whoever the fuck I'm leading and go, "This is what we're doing because I fucking say so." You're like, listen, I had to make a call. I'm doing the best I can. These are the reasons that I made this call, but this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then you move forward, make them feel, because then they feel they were explained to. I mean, and sometimes you're going to get it right. Sometimes you're going to get it wrong. But, sometimes you got to make that call.
If hesitation disappeared from your life right now, would things be better or worse?
I would think that it would be worse.
Worse for me, no question.
Worse.
No question about it.
I do think that I would like, so one of the benefits of being, I am.
You're hesitating.
Who I am. No, I'm just trying to think
But
how
you
I
kind of are
articulated
hesitating right now.
how I articulated.
Just answer, bro.
One of the benefits of being
Be a man.
enlightened,
Be a leader.
of being enlightened,
Yeah.
right, is that I have the experience of 50 odd years of life, right? So
Almost
if I
closer
see,
to 60.
closer to 60, if I see a child in discomfort, I would respond in a certain way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But but I wouldn't respond in that way in every
Mm-hmm.
instance because I have a bit of experience in it. So it's not but those would be kind of more instinctual, right? But if sometimes if Amanda came to me, or Nick or Ed or whomever comes to me and says, here's this question I have for you, right? And Trevor, you've done this. Sometimes I can't give you an immediate answer. I have to think about it. And that's because, my instinct probably would not be what you want to hear. I know that you're a very sensitive person. So even though you come across as having a very strong kind of
You're talking about me?
shield, yeah, Trevor.
I'm an extremely sensitive being.
Very sensitive. So sometimes if I want to say something in a certain way, if you ask me a question, I'm not going to necessarily give you a response straight up. I'm going to think about it and think about how you would like to get this information across to you, right?
Yeah.
And that is the benefit
I agree.
of having relationships.
If you
right?
hesitate, hesitation, I spend most of every day in a state of fucking anger, like all day. with dealing with other lawyers and fucking scumbags from insurance companies. Every day, it's what I fucking do all day long. And I am like on the fucking brink all the time. Now, I get some email that's particularly I need to act on. If I fucking do it with what my gut's telling me to do, I'm probably not going to be a lawyer for very much longer. Like, if I do what I want to do, which is I want to write him back and go, listen here, you stupid motherfucker. Go back to law school and
Have you
read
never
the
written?
book.
Have you never written one of those yet?
Absolutely not.
You haven't written and then deleted, or like journaled and, and deleted?
I have drafted and redrafted before I sent it.
Yeah.
But the first thing that tells me if I even think you need to read this a second time before you send it, I go, I'm fucking hands off. I need to wait. I need to chill out and fucking hesitate before I send this shit, because whatever I'm writing is probably in anger. I've said things. I remember one fucking piece of shit from Home Depot's risk management company wrote me a check at mediation. I cashed the check into the trust account and pay my client, and they canceled the check they wrote because they said that he forgot that he had a policy that they have to have a release. So if you think of the implications of that, that means I had to self-report to the fucking Florida bar, because what happened?
You had a negative trust account.
Yeah. Well, technically, it did not go negative because there's always money. You know what I'm saying?
But
it takes so long
for that transaction.
But for that case, it went negative, which technically means for the 2 days when I didn't have that check in there, that money for that client, I didn't cash my own check. I only gave the check to the client. But that means that client had money from some other client, technically for 2 days. So I had to self-fucking-report. I call this fucker at Home Depot, and the girls still talk about it at my office to this day, because I was like, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to come to your fucking house, and I'm going to sit in my car and wait for you to come out and give me a fucking check is what's going to happen. Like, I was going nuts on this guy. If I do that in writing, I can fucking get in serious trouble. Like, I've had attorneys who do that, and I look at them. I haven't reported any of them, but I think I've told the story before. The first contact I had with some lawyer, she wrote, her first email to me is, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" That was her first email she ever wrote to me. And I'm like, if I gave this to the bar, like XX, whatever her name is, if I gave this to the fucking bar, they'd open a professionalism investigation into you. Like, you can't write that to somebody as your first gut response. But she was so angry at me because, it's part of my strategy to space things out and really fucking make these people mad. That's part of our job. Like, you pressure them. You use it against them. If I didn't have the ability to hesitate and I just shot from the hip, I wouldn't be a lawyer for 6 more months. Like, it just wouldn't happen. It's just not the right cadence for somebody who's going to be good at this job. So it would destroy my career if tomorrow I had no, like, if you're talking about, the movies where magically you can hear people's thoughts, or you can't lie, like Liar Liar. You know what I'm saying? If you're saying tomorrow I wake up and I lack the ability to hesitate that I just always do, it would destroy my entire fucking career.
Both of you guys, I think, I get that is absolutely a part of it, and it's an extreme example. I think the initial concept...
Is the air on in here? Fucking hot.
I can turn it on in a little bit.
God. I'm dying. I
don't
want to hesitate to ask because I might fucking die.
Woo! I think it was more of an exploration of, should I go talk to that person?
Yeah.
And in those instances, most people hesitate. Like, you see an interesting person at a coffee shop and you don't say anything. Not necessarily shooting a shit ton of cuss words in a legal atmosphere kind of hesitation. I get that. And yeah, if hesitation was gone, that would be a huge
and not just cussing.
Fault. But I'm going more along the lines of like making life decisions that don't have to do with other people screaming and yelling and cussing and writing checks, but like, should I do this or should I not do this?
Well, I've seen you in a bar a good few years ago, probably 5 years ago, where somebody was being a complete ass, and you were completely calm and collected,
Sure.
and you didn't go and do what would have been a normal natural instinct,
I
Which
don't
is-
think- I don't ever think
and hit him.
I don't think I've ever
hit
seen
him
Trevor
over the
lose
head.
his shit.
Yeah, but that's so when I you
That
know,
guy didn't pose a threat to me.
Yeah, but he was being an ass.
Yeah.
he was going out of his way to be an ass.
I trusted myself. I distinctly remember the experience. I trusted
remember
myself
what you're
in that
talking about
moment to go with my intuition and understand very quickly circumstances. He wasn't a threat. He was probably shit faced.
Yeah.
Like absolute, like all signs pointed to shit faced.
Agreed.
And for me to punch a 80-year-old dude, like I don't have time for that. I don't have time to dick around with that. There's no threat. I calmed the situation as best as I could without while still standing my ground. He wanted me to leave because of what I looked like. And I didn't leave, and I actually stood closer to him and used my, I don't know,
Gravitas.
my natural authority to not lose my cool.
yeah,
I lost my cool
later.
30 minutes later
Yeah.
because I was extremely upset that somebody would treat somebody else like that. And it's not, I'm glad that I got to
Hesitate.
absorb that for other people instead. Like if he blew up on a woman, I would feel very bad for the woman. I know I can handle that. And then I feel like I moved the energy at the end of the night by being upset and emotional and actually crying about it.
So how would you put that in your whole hesitation kind of experiment? Would you say that was hesitation, or would you say you responded
I didn't hesitate.
instinctively?
I didn't hesitate. I think hesitation would have escalated the experience in a negative way. I really do. I think that if I would have stopped, overthought it, that he would be more pissed, thinking maybe I was ignoring him. But I think I did a pretty outstanding job rolling with the punches of what he said without getting angry.
So I do think that for me was one of the defining characteristics of why we have continued to be very good friends, because in that highly traumatized environment, you continue to be on the surface basically a swan. You were calm as anything, right? Even though I knew that you were exploding internally, and I think that to me is what leadership's about. It is when you don't always show all your emotion. You keep it bottled up, depending on what the circumstance needs. Sometimes you go into a meeting and you got to be explosive because that meeting requires that. But as Nick always says, and I know he's very good at it, and he does it Monday to Friday as part of his job, is you got to read the room. You got to read the situation. You read it, 100% right.
I
agree.
Kind of what you just brought up, had a scenario that I really can't share too many details on, other than I had to address a very large problem with two other human beings. And typically I would have intentionally come in to this experience with my energy ramped and said, like, we're not fucking around, quit fucking around and all. But with my newfound avenue of data, I walked in and extremely calmly but overwhelmingly seriously dropped some energy, like some heavy energy. And I feel that accomplished more than coming in guns a-blazing.
And that's, you took a moment, gathered yourself, came up with a strategy on how to deal with it, and you were
But I didn't.
Rock and roll.
At no point did I hesitate. I
No.
executed this entire experience as efficient, as streamlined as possible, and the outcome really set the stage for genuine honesty between a group of people.
Genuine.
All right, let's
All
do
right.
some Mother Licking Funkler nuggets,
Some
man.
nuggies.
So I got a cool one. There's a place. So with my running journey in the marathon, I found myself wanting an experience like we had when we went to the Ritz and did cryo,
Yeah,
because I remember how good it made my body feel after.
you got the endorphins going.
So yeah, and I've been doing NAD plus injections.
Yes, sir.
Since I started that, I've noticed more energy, and I've also noticed substantially reduced hangovers,
You're taking care of the powerhouse of the cell.
which is just so fucking like worth its weight in gold. I'm not in any way saying that it gets rid of hangovers, but I am saying that it fucking helps big time. So I do self-inject, but I had a vial, and of course, because it's me, it rolls off and breaks.
Yeah.
And I was like, and on a Wednesday before I did the injection, which is like the most important day. So I went to a place called Restore Wellness that's in that shitty fucking Trader Joe's parking lot.
Yeah, that's why I go into my cryo.
That's where you do cryo?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. With Jacob, he's a cool dude. No, so I go there to do the NAD plus, and he's like, well, yeah, you can join. It's really not that expensive. And you could do it's $100 a month. You get like the discount. I think I'm going to continue there. You get a much bigger NAD plus shot than self-administering. So I think I'm going to continue to do shots on Wednesdays
At the place.
At the place.
So wait, it's $100 to join, but then you have to pay for the shot on top of the $100.
It's $100 a month to be a member. It's a point system. Those points, though,
Yeah, but you get to use
are
the
to
other,
use the cryo,
yeah.
and you use the fucking
the red
barometric
sauna. They've
and
got the red light.
and
sauna.
also they do facials there, which
Yep.
my facial person is gone now. So I want to find a place to do that. So I'm going to test them out.
It's
for
a very
that.
cool. It's a very cool.
Yeah.
Place.
So I went there and did the cryo. It was just as good as the cryo we did at the Ritz. I mean, I think you would agree, PR. And it made me feel great yesterday. I ran. I'm tapering now, big time, because the run is a week from today.
What's tapering? How
So-
far you run?
Yeah. So you lower.
Yeah.
You max out, and then you start lowering before the race so that your legs are fresh.
Yep.
So we did 22 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago was a half marathon. Yesterday was only 8 miles. So, and I think my dream's working because 8 miles felt like nothing. It's great. And after the 8 miles I had to go through the fucking Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome parking lot of that shitty fucking Trader Joe's. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Yes.
They should be fucking ashamed of themselves. But beyond that, the guy's super nice, almost too nice. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like kind of off-putting. He's trying to sell me something. But I mean, seems like a good deal. It's relatively cheap. That was I've been tinkering around with joining Lifetime that's about to open. That's $400 fucking dollars a month to be a Lifetime because they have cryo there. And I was like, I want to do it, but it's gonna be cheaper for me to stay at LA where I'm
Did
happy
you pick
anyway.
some good music when you were doing the cryo?
Yeah,
there?
just the one
you
song.
Pick your own. You
Yeah.
pick your one song. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
he threw
you 3
me in.
minutes?
Yeah,
What
3
are you-
minutes.
You're
3
a,
minutes?
You're a Metallica guy.
I did
right?
Metallica. Yep, I sure did. I did Master of Puppets. And then so that was I guess the big nugget that I have a shitload of other ones if we got time, but I'll let you guys go off. I just wanted to take a minute to talk about that place because
So a quick
legit.
nugget that actually Amanda, Ed, Trevor, and I had was we went to Packwoods, and that was pretty amazing.
So for those that don't
Pretty
know
amazing.
his accent, Packwoods.
Packwoods,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a
Packwoods.
mixed. It's a
Mixed?
Yeah.
So
Yeah?
Packwood is in
haven't
Maitland,
been.
right?
I haven't been.
Was that Maitland? Would you call that Maitland? what I liked was one is that it has it's a beautiful setting.
Mm-hmm.
It's relatively new. I'd put it at about probably a year to 18 months.
Oh, really? It's been
year
around
old.
that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
I went there, I think, when it initially opened, probably about a year, 18 months ago.
I'm
And
pretty
then,
sure one of the guys that was working there that we know from Ravenous Pig was saying that their year anniversary is coming up soon, and they're having a DJ come in. So if
A
anybody,
year old.
if anybody's interested, their year deal's coming up and they're gonna party.
So what I like about it is that one is the ambiance is fantastic. It's got a beautiful long bar. I love the kind of the rack at the back, the wine rack. It goes from like floor to ceiling. It's really beautiful. It's
Nice.
very unusual. And then what was it? So they have a nice bar. They have a nice menu of. I mean, I can say for the wines. The producer was having an interesting beer. What beer was that you had? Do you remember?
Nothing fancy. It was an Narragansett.
What I liked about it, though,
Sounds fancy to me, motherfucker.
what I liked about it, though, is that it had the America 250.
It's like the Lone Star of the Northeast.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I had
Never
I
heard of
had
it.
one of those. It was
like
good
it's
beer.
like a Nantucket beer.
Nantucket PBR is pretty much what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I actually enjoyed it. But what I liked is it had the America 250 on the can. But the highlight though of when I went there is actually you can actually bring your own, like there's a pizza place right across the passage. Would passage be right? It's kind of inside the building though.
Like down the hall, there's a couple different vendors.
What's the pizza place?
Pizza Bruno.
It is Pizza Bruno,
Yeah.
right? That's what I was going to say.
But they have a sushi pizza place as well. And what's that called?
Wave Sushi.
Wave Sushi. So
the Pizza
I
Bruno,
went.
baby.
So
Is it Pizza Bruno Curry Ford style, or is it Pizza Bruno College Park style?
College Park style.
Really? Never mind.
so
Bummer.
but we
Continue.
we did the sushi pizza, and so it was my first time ever having a sushi pizza. Essentially, it's $20 a slice, which kind of I didn't ask until I had to until I got the check. So I got like 4 slices, and I thought $80 for a pizza was excessive. But essentially, each slice is kind of a slice of sushi.
It's
So
a
it's
full fucking sushi meal.
full sushi meal.
That's insane.
It was outstanding.
It was good, too,
So,
though? It
so the
tasted
base, it was
Yeah?
So the producer here has
Wow.
his own ideas, and I respect his palate.
Well, both the Muse
I wanted to hate
and
it
Ed are saying
because
it's good,
it
too.
looked gimmicky. It's sushi.
It looks
shaped
like a pizza slice.
Yeah.
with like nori on the bottom, and then there's a rice bed. I wanted to hate it because I thought it was gimmicky.
Mhm.
It was very good. It was
Very good.
Nice.
It had the whole, the if you want tuna or the salmon at
Yeah.
the top, and it was excellent. So Packwoods was a really good experience, and and it was good that the 4 of us were out there.
Nice.
That's my nuggie.
I needed a day. I had to get out of the house. Maids came, and I feel like I've been disrupting the maids the last few times they visited.
Mhm.
So, and I've been in fucking go mode for months, and so I carved out the time, and I said, all right, I'm going to go do something. Walk around Lake Baldwin was an option, but I was like, I think I've talked about this place before. I went to Kava Cove Lounge by myself. What a fucking weird experience, man.
What'd you get?
Kava?
What is Kava? Is
Kava is like I think like a root or something. It ends up getting shipped in powder. They mix the powder into drinks.
It's wild that you were drinking something and you don't know exactly what it was.
I do.
To me,
I researched before I went.
Well, what kind of root is it? What are you talking about? You just
Kava.
said it's a root. So it's a
Kava.
Kava plant. Well, I mean, I can explain to you the coffee that I drink. I know exactly what fucking
it's a
beans.
plant called
Okay.
Kava.
And what is it?
It's brown powder.
Does it contain caffeine? Does it
No,
contain...
so no caffeine. What it does is enacts on your GABA receptors
Mm-hmm.
and kicks in parasympathetic nervous system.
Oh,
so which
really?
is what I needed. In effect, it's like taken not CBD, melatonin or something.
Okay.
It made my tongue numb, which I assume then also makes like the inside of your body, which you really can't feel, numb, and then your system kind of numbs. I don't know if it was enjoyable because I got out of the house or because the actual Kava. I think getting out of the house, saying I wasn't going to work for 2 or 3 hours and sitting there just listening to people actually calmed me down. The Kava may or may not have had an effect on my system.
All right.
Is it anything like alcohol?
No. I thought, like, kind of going into it, I was like, man, am I, like, all the shit that I was reading, I'm like, am I going to be okay to drive? So the lady behind the bar, I kind of played dumb, not telling her that I had just done a shit ton of research on it. And I was like, yeah, I've never had it before. What do you suggest? And she was like, let's get loaded. And she kept giving me shots of like concentrated Kava. And so, I mean, they were going down. The only thing I was really worried about going into it was it going to make me have the runs? Was I going to drink a bunch of this stuff? My system's not used to it. And what's it going to do to my GI tract? I was fine. Next day, questionable. I think it had an effect on my system, but I don't know if it's worth going back. It was kind of cool. There's some fucking weirdos there. I think people that go to a Kava bar are very unique individuals.
I want to go.
I liked listening, like just eavesdropping on conversations.
That's cool.
They, they're not there to drink alcohol. They're not there to drink caffeine. It's a.
Can you smoke in the Kava lounge?
No, negative.
Fuck no, you can't smoke anywhere. Other
Negative.
than George's Tavern.
So it was fun. I don't know if I'll go back. If you guys want to go, I'll go sit there with you and do it. But,
All right. Cool. Couple of good recommendations. A couple of meh.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey.
Thanks for being here, fellas.
Let's not hesitate to finish off this episode.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. And special thanks to the Wizard of Ed and the Intuitive Muse. Please hit like and subscribe and leave comments, questions, and requests. Connect with us on social media throughout the week.
See you in the promised land.
Hack the planet.